All right, so I have all three of the DJ controllers that I've owned. Look how small this one is. The first one is the Pioneer DDJ-200. This is very beginner friendly, very portable, obviously. This one runs about $180. And if you're on a super tight budget and want something very, very small and portable, this one works. Like, I learned on this. It's got everything that you need. It has eight different FX pads, the jog wheels, low, mid, and high. With the effects and stuff on this, which honestly, if you're that new, you probably should just focus on your transitions, beat matching, that type of thing. But if you're inclined to use effects, this one is a little bit annoying because you have to route your effects into your computer. Moving on to the next one. Boop. Just kidding. All right, the next one, the Pioneer DDJ FLX4. Now, this is probably the most common for starters and beginners. I would recommend it for sure. I got this shortly after I got the first one, and I would just recommend going with this one and skipping that one if you're able to. The DDJ FL2, which I showed you earlier, is $180, give or take. This one, the DDJ FLX4, will run you $330. It's a little bit more expensive, but let's compare. It's a good amount bigger. The jog wheels are much bigger, almost double in size, which is really important. And you have more room to work with on this. When you're DJing, space is really helpful. And just having this small amount of space between your jog wheels, your faders, your knobs, everything helps a lot. Now, the caveat to this one, just like the DDJ FL2, is that you also need to plug it into a computer so you have a screen. So that is the big con with the first two that I went over. Just like the DDJ-200, this one has all the essentials and more. This has loops up top. For those of you that are looping, this is definitely more of a mid-range, but beginner to mid. It's compatible with Rekordbox, Serato, and this one has a mic input. So if you want to use this for gigs with a mic, you could, but this is still very much like an at-home practice type of controller. Not that it doesn't work for gigs, it works just fine. It does the same thing, but you have two channels. The jog wheels still aren't full size. You don't have a screen. You know, the kind of cons there come into play. So I'll give you a close-up look of this one. This is what we're working with. It's very pretty. The jog wheels. You got all your stuff. So that is your DDJ FLX4. Now on to the Mac Daddy. So this is the best. This is the Mac Daddy. This is what I would recommend. This is my favorite. This is the Pioneer XDJ RX3. It has a 10-inch screen, so you don't need to plug it into a computer. USB, ready to go. If you want to use a computer, you can. I personally don't. I just use USBs, compatible with Rekordbox, Serato. It has all the pads, FX pads. The jog wheels are large and in charge. This thing has everything. It has two mic inputs, outputs, and this one is the most similar to a club style setup. It's essentially the same thing. It just doesn't have mixers and separate CDJs. It's all one. So the layout though is very similar to CDJs that you'd find in a club. So the big con with this one is the price tag. It is about $2,000, which yeah, is a little bit crazy. But DJing is expensive, technology is expensive. But this is a really, really big jump up from the DDJ FLX4. You know, those being $200 to $400, this one's $2,000. So it's significantly more expensive. But if you can afford it, or you can find something on Craigslist, I have friends that have found RX3s for like $1,000, used ones before. Yeah, it really just depends on the budget and how serious you are about DJing. If you're just DJing at home for fun and, you know, that's all you really want to do with it, I think that you could start with the DDJ FLX4. And then as you kind of get used to it, if you're like, hey, I really like this, you could jump up to this. I would highly recommend this one. But again, I know it's expensive. So to break that down, I started with the DDJ 200, moved up to the DDJ FLX4, and then moved to the RX3, the Pioneer RX3. Do I think that you need to move further and get your own CDJs once you get really good at DJing or whatever you're gonna do? No, I personally don't. However, fun fact, I did buy CDJs and a mixer because I thought that I had to, because I was like, I really want to learn how to use the club setup, and I kept them for about 5 months, and I was like, I don't need this anymore. Those are like the combination of a mixer, CDJ, it's like $10,000. So I sold those real quick, went back to the RX3. I did learn how to use CDJs, which is great, but definitely not necessary. Let's break it down. The DDJ-200. If you are brand new, you're balling on a budget, you don't really care about too many FX, you just want to learn the basics, and you're okay using your computer, definitely go with that one, $180. If you're like, hey, I want to be a little bit more serious about DJing, I want to learn at home, maybe play for some friends, use a microphone, whatever, use the DDJ FLX4. That one's again about $330. And then if you want to get a little bit more serious, or you have a little more money, I don't know, whatever your situation is, the RX3 is what I'd recommend. Get, a feel for how the club setup would be with CDJs, have a screen, maybe stream, record content, do all the fun stuff. And again, this sits about $2,000. Ouch. So yeah, those are my recommendations. Those are the top 3, beginner, intermediate, advanced, you can say, quote unquote. Not that you need to be at those levels to get that equipment, but yeah, so if you guys have any other questions about details about how these work, I'd be happy to go into it. I didn't turn these on just for the sake of time in this video, but if there are DJs that are watching this, or beginners, or people that are interested, please drop comments, ask questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll see you guys in the next video.